This is a patient with liver transplantation, and he suffered from an anastomotic stenosis. And I will treat the stenosis with my team. This is something novel I would like to show you. It's a new duodenoscope. It's a single-use duodenoscope. Today we showed you a single-use gastroscope during a Senke procedure. I think gastroscope is also a good indication in the emergency unit. This device is from Ambu. This company has a huge experience developing single-use endoscopes, not only for GI endoscopy. And at the moment, they have the duodenoscope and the gastroscope. This Danish company has the brain of this company is in Augsburg, where I live. So there is a research center, and we were also involved in developing or giving some advice. So what is the benefit of this duodenoscope? First of all, the difference I would like to show you, there's not a huge difference. So the color, maybe you see this is white, but I think that doesn't matter whether it's white, blue, green. The weight of the endoscope is different. It's very light. It's very flexible, but the scope itself is a bit more stiff. Then it usually has the wheels as the other scopes. It has the elevator, so there's no difference. And although for the suction and insufflation, the two knobs here, which are fixed, they cannot be removed. And the outer diameter is about 13 millimeter. And the working channel is 4.5 millimeter. So it's quite large for therapeutic procedures. And to prepare this scope, Nils, you put it just in this duodeno box. It's called.
Oh yeah, you have to hook it here. Here's nothing which you can see. You just hook it there and connect it to the processor by this USB stick. Then you have to get a sterile water bottle and for the cleansing of the lens. Here's the pump for the lens cleansing. CO2 unit. Here is UCR from Olympus, and the suction is here, another suction channel.
And after the procedure, you take it out and just
dispose it.
Dispose it, but not the box.
Oh, most of the time.
No, this is yeah.
How is the feel? How's the feel of the shaft of the scope? I mean, ergonomically, does it feel the same?
Yeah, that's I think this is an advantage probably for a single-use endoscope, because they have the chance to develop different type of scopes. So, for example, left-hand endoscopists or right-hand for ladies, and for big men like me, the hand is different of size. So probably in the future we have different handles for different sizes, for different people to work with. And maybe also for children, it could be ideal to develop very easy new scopes which can be used. Now, the question is always when to use a single-use endoscope. And I think liver transplantation is for sure, in my view, a good indication. This patient is immune compromised. Yesterday, I did in my unit a procedure on a patient with a lymphoma and cholestasis. And now, here we are now in front of the papilla. I'm using a sphincterotome and a guide wire. This is from Mediglobe. And the guide wire is the EVPass guide wire. And I try to cannulate. And I think, as you see, the brilliant image of the single scope.
Yeah. All right, Helmut, how's it going?
Yeah, I mean, well, I could pass the stricture with the guide wire with the EasyPass. I tried to put in now the balloon, but this balloon is, the diameter is too large, it's 2.3 millimeter. So I use a smaller one. And if this is not possible for dilatation, I will use a bushie. Yeah. it's really a tight stricture. So I'm wondering how to pass it. And it was
how far
pink,
out from liver
so,
transplant is the patient?
Yeah, exactly.
How far out is the patient from liver transplant?
Dankeschön.
It's 1 year, last year in the summer.
Okay.
Though the bile ducts were slightly dilated, and but no signs for any stones or something like this.
Okay.
But elevated liver enzymes. So let's now try a balloon with a smaller diameter.
Could this be a post-ischemic stricture versus just your typical duct-to-duct anastomotic stricture?
Sorry?
If this patient is presenting so late, 1 year after liver transplant, are you concerned about this potentially being from ischemic cholangiopathy?
Well, it's just this isolated stricture. Don't think so, but here. No. Struggling. This.
Oh yes, that's tight.
You can see it. That's tight. I can feel it. I can really feel it.
Yeah, it's almost as if I can too, just by looking at what you're doing. And on the floor, I just
you know this shaking and struggling, tight structures. We proceed a bit, but if it doesn't work, then I take a bougie and maybe a more stiff guide wire, because you see there is not kind of kinking here.
That's correct.
That the forces go not in the.
Yeah, and since this is only two-dimensional, it can be.
So probably we switch to a bougie. I couldn't even pass with my papillotomy.
What size wire are you using?
Sorry?
What size wire are you using?
The wire,
it's 035.
035, okay.
No, it doesn't. Kommt hier Bougie hier?
Ja, wir können austauschen.
Okay, let's switch to a bougie. Then we try again. So, that's not the top. We can fix the guide wire.
Yeah.
I push it forward. Yeah. I take it back. Yeah.
Okay, now we have it.
Great to have a
question about
good team here. Yeah. Okay, I can fix a guide wire with the elevator, similar to other scopes, so no problem. And now we use a bougie and try again to pass, and then the balloon. And at the end, we will see whether this is a candidate who needs a plastic or a metal stent.
Einfach loslassen,
yeah.
So any trouble holding down the wire with this disposable duodenoscope? Does the elevator hold
No,
it
that's
well?
not. This is definitely not the problem. I think the problem is here the structure. Yeah. So we have a very heavy mortality. Oops. Can you give some Buscopan, please? Otherwise, I lose my.
It's like you're using a Sohendra bougie, is that correct?
Yeah, exactly.
What size are you starting with?
7.
It's narrow, so we choose a small one.
Yep.
Let's try again. And what is also very interesting, you see the scope, the distal part is transparent. It's not defect.
Yeah.
And this sometimes helpful because you see stones or strictures behind the scope very nicely. Yeah. So now I'm advancing my bougie.
Oh, that's tight. Wow. I can feel it just from
You can feel it, no?
I can. I'm feeling my arms, my hand is cramping up while I look at this.
You want to help me, I see.
Sending you good vibes.
So the next,
you got
then probably if this does not work, we change the wire to a more stiffer wire. And the maybe then the 5 millimeter bushie, because this is really a tight structure. But it was not easy to pass with the guide wire. That was interesting. Very smooth, very easy to pass.
Yeah. I mean, at times I've had to use spyglass, you know, just because.
Yeah. Just if I couldn't cannulate, that could be an option to cannulate such small strictures with a. No way. We change now as next step. We have to change the guide wire. So we leave the bushie in place and take out the guide wire. Do you have a stiffer one? Hello, back again. Still struggling. No, we could pass now. And I had a balloon catheter. I switched to a stiffer guide wire, and I used a 7 French bushie, which was not possible to pass, but now with this balloon, it was possible. And I have learned a trick here in Hamburg. We put some propofol on it because it's fatty and it's slippery. So maybe this worked, I don't know. But anyway, we could pass the stricture, and we are now at 4 millimeters to dilate. And can we dilate more? No, it's a 4 millimeter balloon.
It's a 4 millimeter.
So the next step is now we try again with a 6 millimeter balloon. And then I think this patient should have a stand, but I will discuss with my colleagues here in Hamburg. Deflate, yeah.
6 millimeter.
The surgeons, the transplant surgeons usually don't like stands here in Hamburg. So no plastic, no metal stands are allowed. There are, to my knowledge, there are no data comparing balloon dilatation against stenting. The majority of published data compares plastic versus metal stent, several plastic stent versus metal stent, and there is a slight benefit using fully covered metal stents. But we now want to dilate. Sorry, stopp mal.
Ja. Zieh ein bisschen. Ja. Gut, schön.
Okay, stopp.
Ja.
Okay. Hast du?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
That is interesting.
Now you see the kinking is also a bit better. No, it's gone. We can hopefully now dilate with the next size and step by step.
Marvelous.
If this didn't work, I was wondering what would be our next decision. What doing next? No? Because this is
question for you. So if at your institution the practice is generally to not place stents, then are you a little more aggressive with your balloon dilatation?
Well, it looks to me that for sure the liver transplant patients are similar to those with PSC. So the risk for cholangitis is much higher with stenting. And therefore, I could understand that the liver transplant surgeons don't like this. So if the stricture can be dilated in one step and the patient's benefits for a while, that should be enough. But in this situation, it's really a tight stricture, and I strongly recommend today that we put in a stand at the end of the procedure. But now probably it's again a 6 millimeter balloon, and hopefully we can toss now, and then we will see.
Marvelous.
Great.
Nice.
Now it's much better. You see?
Inflate?
Yeah, now we can inflate. Yeah, stop a bit.
Stop. Zurück.
Maybe a bit.
Deflate.
So here's, I think here was the
Stop.
stenosis. Yeah.
Inflate.
Okay.
2, 6 millimeter, 3 atmospheres.
Yeah, that's good. That's fine. Okay.
Okay. More?
Yeah, go ahead. So we go a bit more now. There is wonderful. Now it's nice. Yeah.
6.
Okay, noch ein image. Okay.
6 atmospheres.
6. Okay, that's
7,
now
7 millimeters.
7 millimeters dilation. Yeah, that should be enough. Okay, stop.
Yo,
And now
stop.
we go for a stent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
What,
okay.
what stent are you planning on placing? The plastic stent helmets?
I would do now a plastic stent. Yeah, I would do now a plastic stent.
Okay.
So
We can
Are
change.
you using this single-use duodenoscope frequently, or just strictly in your liver transplant or immunocompromised
Well,
population?
this is a good question. I mean, we still think should find a good indication. So liver transplant patients, patients who are immune compromised, like I had yesterday in my clinic a case with a aggressive lymphoma, which infiltrated the pancreatic duct, the bile duct, and all the patients who had multi-resistant bacteria. So this is, I think, could be a good indication in the future. We do now a randomized trial on this patients in my unit. And although now in the discussion with Corona, for example, in bronchoscopy, in my unit, it's almost standard to use single-use endoscopes for patients with Corona disease and pneumonia who need a bronchoscopy. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, stop.
Well, guys, we're going to move on. So thank you
Yeah.
so much, and best of luck to this patient.
Okay.
Thank you, helmets and team.
Yeah. Okay.